This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you once again here on Facebook. We are joined by our incredible sister, Queen Kiki, today. So welcome, Queen Jenny. Welcome, Queen Kiki. I'm so excited to be sharing her incredible testimony. She has been going over 30 days on juices. Queen Kiki, congratulations. She recently broke her fast, her feast, her juice feast. And she has so graciously offered to come share with us her journey. One second, I'm just going to tag Queen Jenny so that we make sure that it's on her page as well. The joys of technology. We're doing it. We got this. Okay, here we go. So she has graciously offered to come and share with us. She's been in our program in the sweet spot, and she has seen firsthand the benefit of receiving support from others who are doing this with her, and also from two experienced juicers who have been through it. Queen Jenny is still going through it, day 248. And to be part of a support network is so important when we're taking on these challenges. And Queen Kiki will tell you a little bit about her journey beforehand, how she didn't think she could do it, but she had a positive mindset and she started believing in herself, and she connected with others, and she has been on the most incredible journey. So thank you so much for being here, Queen Jenny. I will open it up for you if you have any questions to start off for Queen Kiki, and then we'll have a little discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, Kiki, for being a part of the Sweet Spot. It's just been a complete blessing having you and watching you grow and thrive, and just really embody the whole concept of the sweet spot and finding your harmonious balance. I'd love to hear what led you to juicing, like what interested you.
Absolutely. I've never shied away from what I consider to be an opportunity / challenge. So I spent a lot of my life as a quote unquote junk food vegan, and I transitioned into the whole food plant-based community. Yes, about 6 years ago. And I really began embracing the concept of whole living foods and foods of nature. And I am a clinical therapist for my, profession. And so one of the things that I focused on with myself and my clients is getting back to the basics. And I study a lot of evolutionary psychology and the idea that we innately are animals, and we come from this beautiful animal, natural kingdom. And so embracing the tenets of that brings us so much closer to ourselves, our soul selves, and away from the hyper-stimulating, what I would consider to be hyper-dopaminergic substances that light us up, and really into the treats of life that light us up. So I've really embodied embracing that for myself, because I want to, as Gandhi said, be the change I want to see. So when I began up-leveling and making these changes, I understood from the very get-go that this is not just about what it is that we put into our bodies. It's about what we put into our brains and our souls. And it has much to do with the influences that we allow into our brains, our psychological digestion. There is, the gut-brain connection. There's like 90% of the serotonin is in the gut. So as I continued on this journey, I began exploring a high fruitarian path about a year and a half ago, and just kind of assimilating and embracing the joys of natural fruits and goodness of the earth. I have always suffered with gut healing issues. I had an extensive colon resection many years ago, or about 5.5 years ago. And I've suffered with IBS and lots of gut healing, things. So I've, thought to myself during this time that it is not my fault, but it is my responsibility to take care of my body and to work with it. And so this path of going back to natural as opposed to leaning into processed already began showing me just goods and gifts and people and opportunities in life. And when I came across the Raw Kings and Queens family with Jenny and Aileen, I believe in almost like investing in people. There are a lot of programs out there, and there are a lot of concepts and a lot of overarching plans and principles, but there are people behind them. And I joining this program for me was taking an opportunity in front of me, but mostly investing in individuals. And because I believe in the two of you, and I truly love the two of you with all my heart. So this was equally about the two of you and the opportunity to connect further and to connect, like spokes of a bike wheel with the people that you connect with and join a family. So I had never, done anything juicing involved for more than like 3/4 of a day. And I figured to myself, I'm going to try this. I'm going to sign up for a 10-day juice cleanse and just see what happens with my gut. The other part of my healing journey is that I have transitioned off of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication, which has been a very long journey for me. And it is something with which I help my clients as well. And again, in the vein of being the change that I want to see and taking responsibility for myself, I figured I have nothing to lose in this journey. So I did sign up for the program, and I figured I'll just do what I'm able to do. The name of the program, The Sweet Spot, truly embodies the idea that we can make alterations and we can make adjustments and do this for ourselves. So I never felt judged or in a space where this was something that I was being held to. I was about to use the word egotistically, but actually that actually has to do with an internal process. So from an external perspective, I felt that there was zero pressure or zero judgment to do it right. I just figured we'll all do our best here. From an internal perspective, I wanted to work on my ego and to say to myself, how much of this is about saying I want to do something and feel like I'm capable versus how much of this is about feeling like I am doing something that makes me proud of myself and actually I'm seeing benefits from. So I just figured that I would take it day by day and not battle my ego in the process. And as I approached day 10, I was getting the daily support from the two of you on Zoom. The Zoom calls were invaluable. I will also give a lot of credit to my royal kings and queens and brothers and sisters in the community who are now my family, because the connections that we all made on the program were phenomenal, deep. The sharing we were able to do opened up depth, and I felt completely blessed with that opportunity to connect. It is said that the opposite of addiction is connection. And I feel that sometimes I do specialize in addiction in my practice. And the word addiction can be very charged, where we think, oh, the person was living on the streets with this and that. And, I think to myself, and I say this to my clients, that addiction really is like a charged relationship with a substance outside ourselves. This can be this, it can be fidgets, things that we pick up to transition from our being with ourselves to avoiding ourselves and to distracting. And there's a place for distraction in life, and there's a place for going within. So what I was really able to hone on this program was, the idea of not reaching for what was outside, but reaching for what was inside. And the community was able to help me do that. So as I approached day 10, I said, you know what, I'm going to sign up for the entire 40 days and continue on the journey. But however many of those 40 days are juice versus anything else, that's not what it's about, because I'm here for the connections. So when I got to my day 30, I felt very proud of myself. I felt very enriched. and I felt very divinely tuned in with who I am on the inside. I was realizing that I wasn't reaching as much for what's on the outside. That being said, I'm a human being. And so I was maybe, let's just say, more aware of what was calling my attention on the outside. And I felt like I could keep going. I could keep going and say, I'm one of these people that did this many days and this many days. But a few of the words that resonate with me most deeply in my soul are balance, sustainability, and, reality, and or living, setting a foundation to then launch. And I didn't want to do anything or spend any time working toward a goal that felt as though I was hyper focused in one area of my life, but was perhaps neglecting or paying less attention to other areas in what I call, the pie chart of life, as it were, our areas of spirituality, creativity, social connection, professional work, home decor, my animals, my wife, my life, etc. And I said to myself, I'm going to conclude this phase, this stage of my journey. It is always something I can revisit in the future. And I'm going to make my transition back now to what feels to me to be long-term and sustainable. And I'll just leave you with this one note, which is that there's a word in Japanese called kaizen, Kaizen, and it means that small incremental changes, ones that are taken slowly, are what are the longest lasting. And so because the slow and steady wins the race, I said to myself, I want to pace myself and space myself and open up. And here I am, and that was my accomplishment, but the gifts are still present every day, especially, sitting here with you guys, case in point.
Absolutely incredible, powerful journey, powerful story. Thank you so much for sharing. I love everything you're saying. And I think this is nothing short of a quantum leap that you just took. You talk about slow and steady, but 30 days on juices is a massive shift, that will continue to work inside of you for forever. It's always going to be in you. This is plant medicine that we're talking about. This is a deep spiritual journey, and you're never going to be the same again. Once you go through that, you've been stretched to new states of consciousness, to new heights, and you're never going to go back to, that's it, that you're a new woman now. Thank you so much for everything you have to say about our community, about Queen Jenny and I. We've absolutely loved having you in the group. You've been an incredible support to us all. You showed up every day, with a live, and that too is once someone takes on their commitment and really goes above and beyond, you will get that back so many times in return, because you're invested in it. You're fully invested. And I have really enjoyed seeing you, and you've inspired me to step it up in many ways. You've definitely helped me, and I know you've helped Queen Jenny. That's the beauty of working together, is we're all here to learn, we're all here to grow, and you are definitely such a bright light for us all and for our whole community. You've helped us so much. Did you face any challenges? Maybe you could share with us a little bit of certain challenges that you felt. I know it's not easy. Some people are like, how did she do it? What are some of the challenges that you experienced, and how did you get over them?
Absolutely. There's something, especially toward the nighttime, that's my most challenging time of day, because I find food to be comforting, especially before bed for winding down. And I work hard and I work a lot during the day. And so there's that thought of seeking reward toward the end of the day, and not having that same reward felt very different to me. And it did feel like a big challenge. There were days where I felt, just down, tired. One thing I did learn is the necessity of drinking enough juice, because it's not about we're not talking about calories here. We're talking about nourishment. And so the feeling of getting that nourishment within was very important to me. I love my Zumba community, and I love being able to do Zumba. And while it's definitely recommended to.
And you look so cute when you do it too. Just want to
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love it. And like, while it's definitely recommended to rest and to be kind to our bodies during something like this, it was something that for 30 days, I was not willing to sacrifice for anything, for absolutely anything, nor time with my friends, nor our Friendsgiving together, nor Halloween, nor all the things that came up during my journey. There are holidays and events and things in life, and I didn't want to sacrifice my enjoyment of them. So to be able to do that, I realized that I needed to fuel up, have enough, have it ready, be prepared. Oh, and I should mention this, which is I probably am different from not that anybody on this journey is the same, but I don't own a juicer. I never plans to own a juicer. I don't have a whole lot of time in my life, and I have zero interest in juicing. So I'm very fortunate to live about 1 mile from a Whole Foods, and I had all of my juices cold pressed from Whole Foods. I did learn from Queen Jenny that, pasteurized is different from fresh squeezed, is different from cold pressed, so I leaned into the fresh squeezed and cold pressed juices. And I'm very fortunate also, where I live here in Florida, to have many cold pressed juice companies around me. And as far as the time money balance for me, it was well worth it to go and make those purchases instead of getting the juicer and buying all the fruit and budgeting the time, because time is money when you have a busy schedule. And that is what got me through this program, because that was a modification that I made. So I never want anybody to think that they have to be spending hours and hours, straining and standing and, all of these things if they choose not to. So that was something that helped me immensely to get over the sort of time challenge of it. Something came up on about my day 24, which was that I just didn't feel right anymore. I felt finished. I felt as though I wanted to transition back to food, and I felt done. And when I say done, I don't mean like a throwing in the towel. I just mean this was great. This was a wonderful experience, but I fought it. I fought it tooth and nail because I had my eyes set on 30. And looking back, while I don't regret that, it was also something that I noted to myself. If in other arenas of life, I find myself fighting my ego so strongly, what's the big deal? What's a number at the end of the day? Maybe that was my time and I ignored myself. This situation is not like a make or break big deal, but I realized like we all have our intuition, and we all know when to fold them, as they say in the song. So that was something interesting that came up, but the support that the two of you provided was invaluable. Well, and still is invaluable, because I'm still on the program now. You lifted us up. You gave practical tips. You gave practical guidance. I learned about in the handbook that you provided going in, I learned about the possibility of the addition of broths. And one of the things, because I suffer gut issues, I do run low sodium in my body. And I know that sodium and minerals are very necessary for me. So when I did start to feel around my 22nd, 23rd day that it was time for more sodium, I started incorporating broths. And at first I wasn't straining the broth that heavily. And Queen Jenny knows this. And I was getting, having a little bit of residue, but I was okay with it. I was like, you know what, this is just part of the journey. And then I began straining, but that did help me feel a lot better. So leaning into the broths was great. Whatever we choose to do on our own journeys is this is about us. This is not about impressing anyone or anyone else. And I'll just conclude with this one final thought, which is that there's an expression in Alcoholics and not in the 12-step fellowship, I should say, you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. And I feel that I want to just give away the gifts now. I want to give back to your community. I want to give to people around me. And I think that you are paying it forward with this program in so many ways. And anybody who is a part of this program has a lot of potential, and we're all uplifting and upleveling one another.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. So many things popped out to me when you were speaking. And it's just so beautiful to, witness your growth and just your love and vibrance. And I so appreciate it. I love what you said I love that you've mentioned a couple times the day thing, because people ask me all the time, Jenny, how many days are you going? Jenny, what's your goal? What's your goal days?
Yeah.
And I always say, I'm following my intuition. My body will tell me on the day that I'm done. I don't have a set day. But you're right. Often we do get stuck on these days, and it can actually be counterproductive, for us to say, I'm going to do 20 days, but that's not what your body needed. And your body wanted to end at 14. And then sometimes we fall into these patterns of like, well, I failed,
Right.
So that's a big part of the sweet spot. So I really love that you mentioned that. I also loved how you mentioned that this is for anybody. Like, you don't have to have a juicer. I remember when you messaged me, we're like, so I guess I have to buy a juicer. And I was like, no. Like, there were weeks I lived off Whole Foods juice because, we've got to do what we've got to do to stay on. And that is something I do feel like Aline and I can really bring, are those helpful tips that have really helped us, over the long run. And I think it's incredible the things that you have been doing, as far as easing off of your antidepressant medications. Thank you for sharing about that, because that's very, very vulnerable and just really, really important to share, because so many of us transition off of those medications and it's very difficult. And, what we're eating and what we're consuming, like you said, in our mind, it all makes a difference. So to have the support and love, I think, is really helpful through all challenging things, especially something, as challenging as that. So I'm so, so proud of you. And I can really hear when you're speaking, just that you're so in tune with your divine intuition and, just following your own heart and finding your own balance. Even what you were saying about balance and knowing at day 24, you were already so in tuned inside that you knew at the 24th day. And you also were so in tune with your consciousness that you recognized it was ego. Yes, you went ahead and did it anyway, and you championed the race, but you were so in tune with yourself that you knew. You were like, okay, I'm done. But okay, I'm gonna give into my ego a little bit and I'm gonna hit this number, but I do recognize what I'm doing here,
Yeah.
But with everything I hear that you're doing, it's finding your sweet spot. Even starting off with going for 10 days, then saying, well, maybe I'll try to go longer, and then just feeling it out and seeing where it took you. That is what juicing is all about, like learning about ourselves, asking ourselves those questions.
Yes.
And kind of figuring out where that leads us and what we really already know inside, but when we remove all the overstimulation, like you mentioned, then we're able to hone in on our thoughts and focus in. And when we ask ourselves questions, we can hear the answer more clearly versus sometimes when we're really polluted and our gut is polluted and our mind is polluted and we feel like we can't make decisions and things, that has a lot to do with that, that overstimulation, whether it be from food, TV, it can be anything at all. So I loved everything you said. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, one more thing too. I remember when Kiki was telling me, I really want to share more. I really want to put myself out there a little bit more. Kiki came to the sweet spot and she did a video like holding herself accountable every single day to help others and to serve others and to spread love, she dug down deep and found that power. And I strongly believe that a lot of that is from, like she mentioned, removing outside sources and just going within and leaning in on support and talking to friends about things and just putting ourselves out there is it's one of the biggest gifts we can give people, and even when we're afraid, like I say, the fear, it doesn't go away, but the love doesn't either, and when we share that and we're vulnerable, that love continues to grow and give. So thank you for giving us so much love and contributing so much love to the group and passion. And it's just been a complete pleasure and honor to spend this time with you. And actually, since we stopped the daily Zooms, I've been missing you all so
I
much.
know.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. And likewise, as you were talking, Jenny, I just want to say one more thing to anybody thinking about joining this program, which is social situations can come up as well, where you think to yourself, oh, how do I tell people about this? Or do I talk about this, or how to deal with this? And my attitude socially has always been the people that want your company and the people that love you and want to be around you want to support you. And so own it. Our vibe attracts our tribe. And I believe that the vibe with which we express something and communicate something is the vibe with which we are met. So in sharing this journey with others, I've always shared with confidence, with certainty, and I've never once been met with skepticism or anything negative whatsoever, because I'm leading with something positive. So, I would say to anybody joining this journey that don't worry about anyone else. This is about you. This is about you and you, end of day. So thank you.
Thank you. My goodness. My goodness. I love what you said. You can't keep what you have unless you give it away. It's like, that's everything, and that's exactly what we're doing. I was poured so much love into me by all of you and by my mentors, and I received so much help on my journey. Like, I did not get here on my own at all. I always say, like, my family, my friends, everybody helped build me up. And Queen Jenny too, she always bigs me up that I'm the one that helped her come out of some dark times. And now we're all like helping each other, and it's just going to get better and better from here. And it's just such a beautiful thing to see, Queen Jenny, that also like this journey really activates us in so many ways. Like, you were so shy to come on screen too. And Queen Kiki, you were looking for ways to share more. Like, this is a way that it's like a vehicle for self-expression, opening the throat chakras, healing our traumas too, from like our lower chakras, from like, the base chakras and all of that. It's like my coach always says, you got to go down deep if you want to ascend. You got to go down deep into like your own shadows and your pains and your wounds, heal yourself, and then you have this whole like spiritual expansion that happens. And juicing is such a beautiful part of all of our spiritual journeys. And I know you're going to continue to help so many people. I'm sure a lot come to you with questions, and they're curious about it, and you have become this incredible light for us. I mean, you've always been an incredible light, and this is another up level. It's another up level, the juicing. I love what you said about the number too, because like I remember on my it was my second one, even my first one, I always ended at a weird date, and I always felt like, oh, I could have gone a few more days, and I was like,
right.
like I could have gone a little bit further. And I was battling with myself a lot for having stopped at like 113. I'm like, what kind of number is that? Like, come on, 120, round it off. Like,
right.
66, what's that? Like, but it was just like, but even then, I think I was already pushing myself. And it's interesting that you say that, because I definitely was like, I had more of this mentality of like, go, 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 when you got to do it and you got to like push through. And it was a more masculine approach to healing. It was like, you got to go through it. And that push, right? And then when I met Queen Jenny, it was like, oh no, can we just have a softer approach? And I even started having a softer approach with myself and with other people. And it's like, no, and I had to challenge myself too, because I'm like, part of me was like, it's this way or that way. It's black or it's white. But I'm like, hey, there's so many grays. There's so many shades and things that work for different people. And I'm so happy that the modifications work for you, that you were able to stay on the liquids. And I want to know, how is your transition going back to solid foods? Have you been enjoying it? Are you still making, like, still having juices? How has it been for you eating again?
Sure. I mean, first of all, I still have the broths daily because that's been fantastic to incorporate. I've still been, having a good amount of juices daily, fewer juices, which I noticed there's less visits to the bathroom during the night, which has been good. Because I was definitely, releasing a lot of fluid during the night. I followed protocol as far as breaking the fast with juicy fruit, and I'm still, staying high on the juicy fruit. Now, for my specific gut needs, my body does not do great with raw vegetables. It never really has. So, my journey in particular, I'm going small and slow on the, vegetable incorporation. And I'm not going to lie, like there have been, moments over the past week of transition where I've gone to, I would say fatty foods, because my body has been, there hasn't been fat, there have been fats. And so I've experienced that, and I've experienced the feeling after, and I've made adjustments. I don't beat myself up about anything. I'm here for the long haul in life. I'm 45 years old, and maybe this is the midpoint of my life. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more, I don't know. But, I see it as this is a totality of life. And so what's this in the big picture? What percentage of life is these 3 minutes of this or this going into my body? Things are going to go in my body all my life. Some I can control and some I can't. So, I take it all with a grain of salt, as it were. And the transition has been smooth. Jenny said something to me, which I really appreciated, which is because I got all hyped up about the transition. Oh my gosh, I'm YouTubing everything and I want to do it right and blah, 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 blah. And if you break it wrong, and I was all like nervous and worried. It's not that big a deal. Just go slow, do you. If you quote unquote mess up, what's messing up anyway? The body is smart. We have a digestive system and a liver and kidneys for a reason. They know how to take care of us. It'll all balance out, homeostasis. In gambling, the house always wins. The body will do its thing. I'm not a gambler, but I work with a lot of them. The body will do its thing. It'll beg for itself end of day, and we don't have to get too far in its way. So it's been pretty smooth and easy. I definitely recommend that people read your protocol, watch the video that you posted, Aileen, for us, and just be wise going into it. And there are people on the program right now that are still juicing. So, I haven't shared as much about this with them because I want, out of respect for their journeys. But there is also your sweet spot transition after the program group, which you have right now. And so in that group, people are sharing more about their transitions forward. And so, you guys provide the container of the group, the support group, and then a container of a later space for individuals, which is very helpful.
I'm so glad that you all are also enjoying that graduate group because, so for everyone who doesn't know, after you complete the program, you transition to a graduate group so that if you want to continue juicing or continue to have support, and you can continue to have support there and still network and mingle with all your friends that you've made. And that's just like a little gift, from Aline and I's heart, so that everyone didn't feel this deep support just sort of pulled away, abruptly. Like, we really care about everyone and want to help everyone and help them heal and do whatever it is you want to do in life. So thank you for highlighting that group as well, and letting us know that you're finding it beneficial.
Absolutely.
And I can't believe you're 45 either. Aline put it in the chat,
What?
You know, it's funny.
amazing.
People say that to me. I sometimes get carded in liquor stores.
I
Not that I
believe
drink,
that.
not that I drink. But you
So
know,
funny.
but it's funny. I mean, I love it, and sometimes it's sometimes it's nice, and then other times it's like weird. But it was funny. Because I've been vegan for a long time, I'll often be like, it's veganism, almost to try to like sell veganism on people, and I'm like, you know what,
It
our bodies
works.
or it's yoga. I did yoga daily for many, and I'm also a yoga teacher. So I would kind of like use things in my life as it's this, honestly, it's genes. You should see my mom at 75. I'm very fortunate, but it's also lifestyle habits as well. And it is, it's listening to ourselves. Listen to yourself. Yeah.
Definitely.
You know it. You know about the sweet spot.
Yep.
You
It's
are the sweet
inside.
spot.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we're
So
so grateful that you offered to come on and share with us. Thank you so much from the bottom of our heart for being part of this program, for encouraging others, for encouraging us and encouraging yourself. This is really, we had no idea what was going to happen as we created this. As you know, this sweet spot kind of came in a plant medicine journey, and I was just like, Jenny,
I love that.
we gotta
I
like
love
do
that.
this, and she took it on and had her own, like, she expanded on it in like such a powerful way that it, like, you know what I mean, like that the synergy between us all has created this program, and it's like so magical what's been happening. And you are the confirmation, the validation that our hearts are in the right place and that we're doing something good, and we're so open to receiving positive feedback, and we're here to improve. We had our first program, so if anybody has been in the sweet spot, if you have any recommendations for us moving forward, we're here in full service to you and in full service to those who are ready to heal themselves and up level. And yeah, we can't thank you enough for coming on and being part of this with us. So thank you so much. You are incredible.
Thank you. My life has changed due to the two of you. Jen knew this as my raw group. And now she knows your names, and she's met Jenny on Zoom, and Jen is my wife. She's met Jenny on Zoom, and we're family at this point, and that's a beautiful thing. And we don't lose that. That doesn't have to do with juice. That has to do with soul. And so, something may bring people together, but there's a lot of divine reasons, otherwise in the universe. And so I'm very grateful to the two of you for this brainchild. And I have no doubt that this is just the beginning.
Thank you so much, Kiki. You just have such a beautiful heart. Such a beautiful heart of service, and the way that you uplift and encourage other people, and this beautiful way that you articulate yourself, and just know just what to say to help other people. It's so, so beautiful, and it's been such an honor to get to see you shine so brightly, so close up, in this group, and so intimately. One nice part about it is that it is a smaller group, so we really get to connect very deeply and really feel safe to open up and to share with others and to help them. And so it's just been a complete pleasure to have you, and a complete blessing. And I look forward to, many more years of friendship and love and collaboration.
Likewise. Thank you guys so, so much.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And we are so, so grateful. Thank you. We love you. Thank you to everybody who joined.
Love you guys.
Love you, angels, and hope to see you all soon in the sweet spot. All you angels watching, if you need help, you need support, if you need upliftment, basically anything you're trying to do in your life, if you need some encouragement or something to help propel you, then reach out, because the sweet spot I feel like it could really help you.
I forgot to mention, I'm going to put the link in the comments to join our January 1st program is going to be a 10-day juice cleanse with modifications offered. So it's kingsandqueensofraw.com, or you could reach out to Queen Jenny and I, and we will support you. Thank you so much. We hope you come in and we could all do this together and have lots of fun and go deep. All right, everybody. Love you so much.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.